This is Curtis, back at you from A-Spread Studios. Hot off the presses, another sports talk video. This is going to be part 2 of evaluating Tua. Last episode of the podcast we went over the framework, the thesis about proper evaluation, how difficult it is to evaluate a football player by a few plays. You can go back and check the whole thing out. But that sets up the framework of what I'm going to try to present. My thesis statement to present to you video and within context so you can make your own evaluation. I'll give my opinion at some point. Take it, leave it, but you'll have the tape and the tools to come to your own informed decision. And that's important. It's not for everybody. This is not going to be for everybody because we're going to dig deep. Spend a lot of time. I don't know how long this is going to run because I got the film and I talk a lot. So, whatever. We'll see. But maybe it's not for everybody. But if you want to see for yourself where Tua is, you want to come to your own conclusions, we're going to give you everything possible within reason to make that decision. Or that final conclusion. Got a funny story about evaluation. How small things can throw off your evaluation. Now, I don't want you to judge too harshly of the people in this story because they will be my mother and my grandmother. They came from a different time. I don't want anyone to be offended, but it's a funny little story. I was playing football over in Stony Brook College, and my coach said, you don't have to take real classes. You take I said, no, I'm here for education, So one of the classes I took was Friedrich Nietzsche, philosophy. Teacher was nuts. I gotta say, the guy spit a lot and drew. The guy was crazy, right? But one of the books that we had to read with Friedrich Nietzsche, or however you want to say it, was called The Gay Science. So I bring the book home. It's one of my books. I was reading it and left it on the kitchen table. And next morning I woke up. My grandmother, my mother had this look of terror on their face. They had the book and there was murmuring whispers. And they came to me, Michael, are you gay? I said, I laughed, I was a little cruel back then. I was like, are you kidding me? Friedrich Nietzsche wrote that book 120 years ago. The word gay just meant happy then. So my mother and my grandmother's evaluation was totally off kilter because of a small misunderstanding, a mess up in their information. So we're going to try to get rid of that. We're going to try to dial everything in from one step. And the first step that we have to look at is throwing mechanics. Quarterback, if their mechanics are correct, they have the best chance to maximize their ability to get that ball out accurately and with velocity. Same token, a quarterback who can have a great arm. If they're not throwing with proper mechanics, there's going to be a problem there. So here's a video, a great video. I'm going to put the link down below from the video that I went to. It's one of the best ones out there. It's very concise. You get to see a couple of really good players there throwing mechanics. One of them, which is like a good comp to Tua, which is Drew Brees. And we'll get a good idea of, I'll go through it quickly, but if you want to see the full video, check out below, throwing mechanics. So then you'll have, unless you already know, and you can move forward. But if you don't, this will be a good idea. So when you look at Tua, you can check out his mechanics and see what you see. All right, mechanics is the foundation of every good throw. Good mechanics usually leads to good throws and vice versa. So right here is 3 good comps for Tua, 3 undersized quarterbacks of different stature. Brees, I think, is a really excellent comp for Tua, especially post-hip injury. So take a look at this. Just try to get your eyes wrapped around what good mechanics looks like, unless you already know. Now, all 3 of these guys, they all have similar variations of the same look. Different little here or there, but generally, it all looks about the same. So when we look at Tua's tape, we can start working on, was that pass generated from good mechanics? All right, now that we know what good mechanics look like or should look like, and that's not 100%. Some of the best throwers have off mechanics, but generally speaking, there is a template for good mechanics. So what's the value? velocity. What's the value of velocity? People always talk about he's got a big arm, he's got a small arm. And this is a very big point I brought up a couple of videos ago about Tua's velocity. And I had, I believe it's the Truth Show, or it said something in the comments. Very fair, whatever. He disagreed, and he might be right. We're going to go through the tape here right now and check it out and see what Tua's velocity is. Now, velocity isn't the end-all, be-all. Drew Brees doesn't have a big arm. You know what I'm saying? Chad Pennington, but even when he came to the Dolphins, his arm was a dead arm, and he still was effective. But you need a certain level of velocity to have the full repertoire of routes. And having high velocity, as long as it's accurate, with anticipation, a good location, is an edge. It's a big edge. It's a big edge. But you don't need to have the biggest arm. If you have, like I said, location, if you have accuracy, if you have anticipation, you can get away with an average arm, okay? But you need a certain level of velocity. Now, Drew Brees and Tom Brady are two examples of players coming in that, they didn't have like noodle arms or anything, but their arms weren't the greatest. There was one of the knocks on them, But they came in and they refined their mechanics and got the most out of themselves. Now, Tom Brady's a big guy, and so that was a very huge advantage. Drew Brees is a small guy, 5'11", smaller than Tua. And he was able to get an arm to become a Hall of Famer. So the good news is that, if Tua does lack some velocity, there are plenty of ways for him to improve that. And I think we can look at last season to see where did his mechanics go from week 1 to the Bills game. And that's a good indication of what kind of student, what kind of player Tua is. And I'll cut to the chase. I'll give you a little sneak preview. It's good news. Okay? So, but always the big sign for all this is health. Okay? Now I talked last time about Tua's injury, how severe it was. You can check it out on YouTube. You don't need to talk about it. But that's his lead leg. And so when you're throwing a football, as we saw above, you're coming back out of the snap, unless it's a shotgun. You're going into your drop, and all the torque and power comes from and first enters the back leg, and then the power and torque has to snap forward, and that flicking of the hips. That means that ball joint has to roll hard. And so his dislocation of that hip is affecting his lead leg. Now, it simply could have been not up to full strength last year. It could have been weak and not fully rehabbed. Could be a fear factor. Everybody, if you've been seriously injured, there's a period of adjustment to get away from the fear, through that injury. So there's all that question mark around his hip, that drive, that redistributing of power and torque from back to front. Okay? Now, when you see that injury, because Tua is such a nice guy, for me, when I saw it, I had seen it when he got drafted, but now after seeing him on the field and being a Dolphin, I hadn't even looked at it. Went back and looked at it. How vicious that injury was. It made me sad. It made me mad. Because, for the most part, I've been tried to be a nice guy. But there was a portion early on, I was a SOB. We'll keep this rated G. And I deserved what I got. But as I tried to be a better person, as I tried to be a nice guy, sometimes I feel like, hey, man, I don't deserve that. And I'll tell you, Tua is a nice, honest guy. You see the way he talks to the reporters. He just tells the truth, and then he just twist it, tear it, chew him up. That injury was totally unfair, okay? Nice guys finish last, they say. Side note, you nice guys, or want to be nice guys like me, the word nice is an old French word, which means retarded. Something to think about. But it's not, being a nice person is a good thing, but just think about that for a second. Especially when you see Tua interacting with the sharks in the media and then sticking it to him. But anyway, side note, we'll keep going at. The value of velocity has different value in different divisions. AFC East, because of the teams involved, velocity has a huge, huge value. Now, it doesn't have value in Miami so much. There's wind there. So, yeah, it does have value because you get the storms coming in. Sometimes you get high winds. You'll have rain. Velocity does play value there. But think about what it's like going to New England, going to Buffalo, going to New York. The winds, the winter fall winds, the snow, velocity is going to mean a big, big deal. Again, doesn't have to be, you don't have to have Dan Marino's arm. You don't have to have Josh Allen's arm. But if you're on the cusp of having just enough, that wind's going to come in and make it too little. Even guys with big arms, they're going to struggle. So you can go to YouTube if you're a real film head like me, or just interested. And you can check the Dolphins-Chiefs game in 2008 with Chad Pennington. Now, Chad Pennington's arm's way less than Tua's, and Chad Pennington was at the end of his career and was older. So now Tua's younger. He still can develop more something. So I'm not trying to say he's got Chad Pennington's arm. But you could see in that game, in that Chiefs game, the wind was pretty potent. How devastating it was to the Dolphins and to the Chiefs as well. And how it almost cost them the playoffs, making it to the playoffs that year. And so you could extrapolate that circumstance into New England, into Buffalo, even into Miami, Now, the thing to consider is when we're going to look at the entire game, the offensive game against the Bills, there was no wind. It was like 4 to 5 miles an hour, okay? So we have to remember that when we look at that game, those are pristine conditions, okay? That's just something to think about. So, almost forgot. Our great sponsors, I have to take a shout out to them. They have a new promo running down in the link below. You'll see, to get to their site, you can see their promo. It's a great site. If that's the kind of thing that's for you, I would definitely jump on it. Definitely with 100%. So take a look at the link below, and let's move on. We're going to go look now at Tua's mechanics in college. Now, this is going to be pre-injury. So we're going to take a look. Has his mechanics changed for the worse, or did they improve post-injury, post-appearance in the NFL? So let's take a look at this clip right now and get that under our belt. All right, we're going to open up with young, fresh-faced Tua. Pretty much very little damage done to his body. We're going to take a look and see how did the ball come out, what kind of velocity, how is his mechanics, and then we'll try to track to see, has this stuff changed over the course of his college career? How has his mechanics changed? Did these injuries start to affect his throwing velocity? And then we could use that as a comparison for when we get into the Bills game to see what he looks like. And this will be a really good platform for us to start making estimations. All right, this is fresh-faced Tua, pretty much prior most of his injuries. We're going to get to see him at his best physically. Obviously he grew over the course of his career, but this is really where you got to see the most strength that he had. And we're going to be able to use this as like a baseline, then to begin building out how he looked as the injuries started to mount. And we're going to cap it off with his LSU game where he was coming off a major surgery and he was really at his physical worst. Then we'll have his best and worst. And then we can compare that when we go open up to the Bills game to kind of see where is he trending more in the 2020 season finale. Was it more towards the young, fresh-faced Tua or the more damaged Tua? Now, again, this doesn't project how he's going to look when we see him in 2021. But again, when we see him in 2021, we'll have all these looks in our mind and we'll be able to really make a clear judgment of where he's going to head, what direction. So this was, he opens up and you see he's got that great quick release and, good accuracy, comes out pretty hot. I mean, this is slow motion. I slowed it down a bit just so we can get a good look. But in fast speed, I mean, those are darts. They're coming in with, proper velocity, low ball location. You see he's able to reset quickly and fire. I mean, this is quality passing. The arm over here, we talk about lack of velocity, but that was a quality throw. He overthrew him, and then you can see this one. He puts plenty of space underneath the ball, gets it downfield. We're not worried about completions and wins. That's not what we're really looking for. But you can see, look at this timing. Ball comes out quick. But this is the first issue I want to look at. You see, this is something I saw throughout his career, and especially with the Dolphins. When he's got to reset, he's a mobile quarterback. That's what they're billing him as. But when he has to reset, that ball comes out. And sometimes it just doesn't come out right. Sometimes it looks beautiful. Now, he was rolling to the right, which makes it a little harder. But look how much harder that ball, that catch had to be because of that throw. So this is one of the weaknesses, one of the chinks in his armor as far as for what I've seen. But we'll let the tape keep unwinding. And again, this is not a big deal if he is a Breeze comp. But look, you can see here that it just was a little, and he resets right there. There's a guy in his face. You can say all that. But we'll see this look a couple of times. And again, look how quick that ball comes out, the accuracy you're seeing here. I mean, this is the two that they were talking about. Nice throw deep. Look at that. Nails them deep. There's no problems here. This is not the Tua, in my opinion, that we saw in 2020, obviously. But this is what we really want to see. If he comes out looking like this in 2021, look at that. That's one of his things. He likes to throw a little short to the receiver. They do a comeback. That's like a bread and butter Tua play right there. Perfect. And you can see he did that with Parker a couple times. So that's something that's a go-to move. It's like one of the keys in his toolkit. So, you saw basically all the things here that make Tua Tua. The reason he was drafted 5th overall. So, we'll keep going. This is some tape as we go from that 2018, 2019. You see, look, the reset and the high throw. Now, that was when he was injured, but we'll see more of that. See, he has a reset again. He's on the move. And look, this is a beautiful throw. So, it's not that he can't throw on the move. If it's to the left, and sometimes he makes amazing throws, but there you'll see over and over again, there's a little bit of issues on the move. Now, he's going to the left. That was a dart. We saw a couple of those last year in 2020. See over here. Now, look, this is another little chink in his armor. The ball's just a little behind. But, not much. Look at this dart down the field. That's nice. Showed arm strength, poison accuracy. But just like Breeze, where, the arm's good enough, but receiver has to slow up for the ball. That happens a lot with Breeze. So this is nothing to be concerned at all. Again, another little slow down, even though he's wide open. But good enough to be one of the best college quarterbacks, and it's good enough to make it in the pros. Nice pass there. Again, this is still pretty much fresh face Tua. Here we go, the short throw. He's going to come back a little bit. Beautiful ball placement. That's where he feels comfortable. Little RPO thing there. And you see, look, here we go. He resets, gets that square look, and the ball's just a little behind. If that corner had better coverage and had tighter coverage, that could have been a pick. And in the pros, that's going to be a major problem. You see, he's got that square look right there. Ball comes out. I mean, it's amazing, gets it out the way he does, but still, on the NFL level, that can be spelled more trouble than it will be success. Little behind, nice catch. But again, look how far that coverage is off. It's just, you're not really going to see too much of that in the NFL. That was a beautiful deep ball right there. No, nice little pass, nice touch. He'll throw it into the bucket. This is the Tua that we need. he was drafted for. And, truthfully, we didn't really see in 2020, which was natural. So now we're going to take a look at Tua in the LSU game where he hadn't practiced for 2 weeks, had a walkthrough coming off major surgery. They put a big rod in his leg and 2 wires to hold his ankle together. So this is Tua at his physical worst. And we can use the fresh face Tua, some of his best plays, as a comparison to see what does he look like when he's banged up. So here we go. All right, so you see that right here is one of the problems, and it's not his fault. He's short, D linemen, edge players, they like to rush him, get in his face. 6 feet tall, there's nothing you could do about that. But you'll see that a couple times in 2020 over his career. And I think the defensive coordinators began to use that as an attack against his weakness. And I think some of these rollouts, they run into problems that way. I think Miami should actually ditch some of the overuse of it. But he is one of the biggest tools he's got. It's so little talked about, that quick release. Look at this. It comes out like, we're Finn fans. And so Marino's quick release is a big thing. But look at this. That saved a big sack. He took a beating, which I don't like. But look how quick that release is. All right, so, again, the speed, the delivery, the get out, to save that sack. This is one of his greatest weapons and a huge asset on the NFL level. And we did see that through 2020. The RPO, look at it, comes out quick, but see the pressure's there. And this is after the injury. And watch, it's not delivered properly. Now, take it for what it is. The pressure's there. He's hurt. It doesn't get delivered properly. But this is something that we will see, at least, we'll use the evidence to show you come 2020 and especially in the Bills game. But this isn't the Tua. This is wounded Tua. And we have to really create 2 images of Tua, healthy and not healthy. And the point we wanted to get to is how healthy was Tua in 2020 and how healthy will it be in 2021? So he gets the ball out quick, rides a little high. It's not really a big deal. He hadn't had practice for like 2 weeks. Look, you see, the ball was delivered nice, he came up in the pocket, but look, it's high. Now that happens. You can't build a huge case out of one play, but the high delivery keeps showing up over and over. Now, this is nice, gets out of there. And, look, Tua is not a mobile quarterback. He's mobile on the move. But let's get back to this. Here we go again. There's a window to throw the football. He's got somebody in his face. A little bit of it's his lack of height, but look where that ball goes. High. And that could have been a pick, if it wasn't for the receiver. But this is a tendency in his game. And I saw it less when he was injured. So, here's another one. He's put it out there and watch where this ball goes now. Look at his mechanics. It doesn't look as tight as it looked in 2018 when he was healthy. It's like he's really the ball comes inside, where the corner has really got the leverage. The corner gets that arm around there. It just makes it a lot tougher on the receiver and can create a turnover. That ball needs to be outside. But this, again, is wounded Tua. His mechanics break down a little bit. Power's not really there. He's recovering. Even this ball right here, nice pass. But, I'm being a little nitpicky, but it's a little behind. And that term, a little behind, little high, we really didn't use that much in 2018, early 2019. But in this LSU game, we said that a few times. And in 2020, the Dolphins, we said that a lot. But look, even injured, the kid delivers a beautiful deep ball like that. So, even injured, Tua is not trash. This kid is doing he almost brought this team back being as damaged as he was. And I wonder, all this kind of playing through all these damages, look, here's another ball. It should have been thrown in that. That was totally covered. It was a bad throw. But look, behind. The ball's not coming out the way we're used to. This was another off-target pass, and a lot of that had to do with his mechanics slipping and not really coming out properly. Now we'll go to another play, and again, behind. And it's not an excuse. It's a reality. He's injured and he is not performing what he's capable. And we don't know with this hip injury, we really don't, when he will recover or if he will. And it's very clear when you look at 2020. Even Flores said, if that was my son, I wouldn't play him. And that was not just a flippant take. And so this is a good news for those who love Tua, because the kid was probably playing 70%. What's he going to look like if he comes out? But here's another one. Look at that. Square look, bad platform, and watch where the ball goes. Wide. The accuracy is just not there. And this is the type of stuff, again, we will see. I will use a tape to prove it in the Bills game. But look at this. He's still able to generate that deep ball. Perfect pass. It's dropped. So, again, it's not that he can't. It's just the consistency. No nice pass. Deep. Showing that, this kid is tough as nails. And that you can see the talent. There's another behind pass, short pass for the receiver to go back and get it. He really feels comfortable with those plays. Those are definitely one of the big tools in his toolkit. But again, see the ball right there? It's behind a little bit. It's not out in front. And ball location is critical, especially in the NFL. But again, when we looked at tape, we didn't see anything. But notice how here he's planted. There's no movement. So kind of a shorter pass. And look at the accuracy on this. Is dropped. Perfect ball. So, Tua has all the tools. He proved that he can, but we have to deal with the reality of the injuries. The 2018 Tua, early 2019 Tua did not look anything like the late 2019 Tua or 2020 Tua. The question for us is, what will the 2021 Tua look like? All right, let's move on from here. All right. Now we got to look at Tua's mechanics. Everyone's got different mechanics. And you can see what you see there. I already talked about it in the video, so I'm not going to keep going. Now we're going to take a look at a video of Tua's mechanics development from his start and the growth that he showed. And I'll cut to the chase here. The good news is he made fantastic growth. This is the one thing that, if you're a believer in Tua, that early on I was concerned when I was, writing articles and doing videos about Tua. But what popped at me most was his ability to develop. That is a sign of intelligence, sign of character, and hard work. And that, to me, is a great, great thing to cling to if you have hope for him and you want to have hope for him. So let's take a look at that video right now. All right, now we're going to go to his professional inaugural game, his first real start against the Rams. Then we'll go to his second game, and then we'll move all the way on to Denver, the game where he gets benched. And really, and nothing that I'm concerned with or I'm going to focus on has anything to do with whether he was benched, he should have been benched, or even the completed passes or anything. None of that stuff really matters. Because the context of all of this is this kid is coming out after a long layoff, serious injury, and making a pro debut. So everything has got to be shellacked in rabbit ears. All right, so we're just going to look at his mechanics. We're going to look at the velocity on the ball. And we're going to see, well, how did this kid develop? How did he come out? How did he look as far as mechanics? And how did he improve? Long story short, this was some of the best news about Tua was his ability to grow. Okay, so let's take a look. I see here the RPO and look at the mechanics on this. Look how tight his right arm is. Look at his hips, the knees, everything is so tight. And the ball comes out quick. Excellent delivery, perfect location. Guy is a little bit in his face. Look at that delivery. Excellent. Again, we'll see it here on this one. Look at the mechanics now. He's got that side saddle look. It's coming out. One leg's off the ground. This is a look we saw in college when he had issues. Now watch where this ball goes. Sails high and behind Gaskin, who, that's a great catch. If not, that'd have gone right for a pick. But you can see, look, how accurate Tua is when his mechanics are on. And here's another one. Watch his mechanics here. This is just, a wide receiver screen, step back, maybe miscommunication. We really don't know, but watch his mechanics and watch how the ball comes out. I mean, that's just really, really wide. But look at his hips. He's falling away. There's real no pressure there. And again, it could be he's just a little nervous about getting hit. So we're going to have to build a real good case on it. All right, you see, this is a real promising play. You can see it right here. Jesse Davis getting beat by Aaron Donald, which is, almost everybody gets beat by Aaron Donald. But Aaron Donald's got zeroed in on Tua, and Tua is got ice in his veins. He stands in the pocket strong. He's got good mechanics. Looks excellent, And watch the delivery on this ball. And this is, not a cheap little throw. So this is one of the plays I really hold to throughout the season as just bringing confidence to me. But watch this. This is about 40 yards down. Look at it, on a dime. And if it wasn't for the great coverage of the corner, that would have been a catch. So, you could see opening the season, there was some power there. But again, we go back, here's the mechanic issue. He's got that side saddle throw. And this is actually one of the, tightest window throws up to that point in the season. And it delivered perfectly. So it's not like when he doesn't have a great platform, he can't deliver. Kid's super talented, but unfortunately, there seems to be more struggles with his location accuracy when he's off platform, which is normal. But for Tua, it seems to be a little hot and cold. And I think just, if he just maintains a better level mechanics, he'll be fine. Look, here's another one. Look, he has that side saddle look. His mechanics aren't really tight. And this was a drop by Williams, and Williams should get chewed out for that. But, anybody who's gone over the middle knows that a pass down by the knees is the second most difficult catch. The other one's behind you. But this just really made an easy pass even more difficult because the location was terrible. And it's a short pass. But again, look at the mechanics. Now, this is another one, where I said before that they blitz him because he's short or whatever. He gets the ball off. It's rush decision. Look how inside that was. That was either a bad decision or bad throw. I mean, it was very difficult because he had the defender in his face. But this is the kind of stuff that, he's going to have to work on. And was that mental side or mechanic side? Whatever. We'll keep on going. Look, you see now, here's another one where there's no pressure. And this is why I think early on he was just nervous, and some of the stuff gets cleaned up a lot, which is very encouraging. So it seems like I'm bashing him, but I'm not really. I'm just trying to honestly evaluate. So there's no pressure there, and he's really like falling back and watch. You got that side saddle look. He's got poor mechanics, and the ball just, comes out wild. This is totally inaccurate, okay? And so, it's, again, we see here the ball comes out. He's on the move, and it's not that he can't. The guy's got great agility when he's going to his left, and he's delivering the ball. He's got a little bit of space. This was a great throw, slightly behind, but what do you expect? You can't really nitpick that. And, so Tua has the tools, but he's just better served. Look, you see, look at this compact, nice mechanics. Ball comes out a little behind. It took a really good catch by Williams. His mechanics had a little bit of flaws to it. I think I'm not going to say I'm a quarterback guru because I'm sure it's not. I'm sure you guys, a lot better you guys. But you could see it was just a little off. Still nice throw. Again, look at here. Look, this is a great pass. Now, this is another one of those encouraging plays that you hold on to. Watch the delivery. Now, he realizes what I like about Tua, he's a back reader. He reads the defender's backs quite often. He seems to have great confidence when he sees that. So he's a good back reader, which is not easy. And he delivers the ball. But some people say, like, this safety over here, the ball was delivered, short a little bit because the safety's going to hit him. But that's not really the case. We'll take a look right here and this other look, and you'll see the ball was just delivered off target. And, it shows that on the move, he has some great talent, but he needs to refine some of his skills. And again, this could be the injury, but watch, you'll see right here, there's plenty of, so he sees the back, he knows this guy's not going to get the pick, but there was plenty of space to make that reception right out there, and then Gesicki would have been able to turn it up with the ball short behind, not delivered with the best location. Not the end of the world, but it's just a continuing trend. So here, this is Noah, nice throw. You can see he developed. He threw the ball like inaccurately on a deep pass earlier that game, but again, a nice part about Tua, he was able to grow. You saw from game 1 to game 2, you see less of that side saddle look. The coaches had coached him up and he kind of got his feet under him. And then even through the course of the game, he was able to assess his mechanics and improve it. And that was like a perfect pass. So what I'm seeing is that Tua does have the ability to adapt. And even towards the last game, you'll see with Denver, his mechanics had improved dramatically. I mean, the reason he was benched was for other reasons beyond mechanics. But his mechanics are pretty solid. And they started out pretty ugly, but he was able to refine them. This is another, like one of those plays, you page note on and say, look at that delivery. He's able to read down the field, deliver it. So you see that there is plenty of talent. You can see that he's somewhat healthy. I'm not really feeling like, I'm leaning towards like these first couple of games that he was mentally dealing with the injury, but physically his passes are coming out good. His body looks pretty healthy. Are we going to see that same kind of look though come the Bills game? Now this ball, he rolls out here. It's a nice pass, a little short. Again, that's he doesn't have the biggest arm. It's a nice pass though, just a little short. And now this is the Denver game. And we'll get back to the continuation of his issues of the reset. And this is something he could completely fix. Watch, it appears like there's pressure. All right, you see there's a lot of traffic around him. And he steps up, delivers the ball. It's a big, big play. They needed to make this play, but it goes high. So right away, you probably want to blame the pressure on it, but watch. There really isn't pressure. That's a great block. But watch him set up, reset, and now watch his delivery. He's throwing to the right, but twisting to the left. His body's all out of sorts. So his mechanics are, his reset and reset mechanics, they're just off. So watch, the ball comes out and he's twisting. And this is not going to give you the best chances of accuracy. Now the ball flies high. It's a big, big, big play. Park was able to get the hand on it. We saw that before. We saw that in 2019, when he was injured with LSU. But that was just really poor mechanics right there. See here, nice mechanics. Look how tight everything is. He's driving the ball forward. And you see the ball comes out hot, quick, and on target. Right here to Gesicki. But, at the end of it, though, you see him twist. See that twist? There's no pressure. Why is he falling away? And now watch where this ball comes in. It's supposed to be to the outside. That wouldn't protect Gesicki and make the pass catch easier. But it comes inside. And that really is risky for both an interception and the player's health. And there was no need for that. And so this was like a trend that I continue to see. Watch, he delivers it. It's not really delivered with the best mechanics. It's delivered with poor location, which is something we really didn't see, in 2018. And we started seeing it more and more as the injuries started to mount. And he had to recover from injuries. So was it just a bad pass? Was it a trend? I don't know. We're building a case for when we go to the Bills tape. All right, now that we have context of what proper throwing mechanics is, quote unquote, within a variable degree, so there's a little here, a little there. And now we have context of what his throwing mechanics were like in college. What we have now is growth in throwing mechanics, and his throwing mechanics in the NFL is growth and all the way up to the Bills game. let's start with the juicy, juicy part. Now, I hope you guys love watching film because that's what I do. My wife doesn't love it so much, but I do. So we're going to go into this. Not sure exactly how it's going to go, how long it's going to go. We're going to go for every play. We'll have context for the drive. We'll keep context for within the quarters, the half, and the game itself. And then we can have the tools now to really make an informed decision. With that, anyway, let's get rolling. Here's the tape. All right, we're going to open up right here. Howard had that great interception. Open up with a run by Gaskin. And you can see, good run blocking. Gaskin's able to break a tackle. The kid's small, but he had 2.0 yards per carry post-contact. And, I really think that just Gaskin needs a little more love from Philm fans. I don't think I don't think he gets enough love. The kid's a good player. So now here we go back. Watch this. Great play call. Rub by the tight end. A little rollout. Nice play. It's a win by Shane Gailey. So we got one win by the run game, one win by Shane Gailey. But here's one critique. Look at this. Tua gets the balls a little behind. Just makes an easy play a little more difficult. Not a big deal. Just something to take note of. Get back to the run. Inside, Gaskin, nice move, able to meet contact. Again, pick another yard or so after contact. I just love that kid. I really do. Injury prone a little bit, but still. So there's a weird miscommunication. Watch this. Look where the ball goes. Look where the first down is. But look how the ball just goes wild. And the pressure was in there, but watch his mechanics. And this is just a little troubling. Maybe he was nervous. But again, we see when he gets out of his mechanics, watch this, falling back, and this is just a wild pass. And that ball was really right there for the first down. All right, so we're going to finish up the drive right here. And Hunt, instead of inside out, goes outside in. That's not Tua's fault. That's why Hunt needs to go inside. So we got, a tally of 2 good runs, 1 good play call, 1 terrible block by Hunt, and 1 highly inaccurate throw by Tua. All right, so we open up the next drive, and Parker goes in motion. This is like a curious play. Maybe you guys can help me figure out. Parker's going to go in to run a slant, but he settles in the zone, and I think it seems like Tua, who's meant to run through the zone. It's very, very difficult to really get a good gauge on this one. But, Tua gets a snap, is after a 5-yard penalty, and, it's easy to say, Parker dropped the ball. But I don't really think it's a drop ball as much. Either he read his route wrong or Tua read his route wrong. Either way, though, but if you go back and look at it, if he had run through that zone, that ball would have been down by his knees. It's been a very difficult ball. So you get the pressure, and I told you this is what they do. And look at the side kick when he throws. His mechanics just look a little off. It's like when you see the golfers, they make that swing and do that little kick. So anyway, they do a little screenplay after that. It's a nice little screenplay. And they put themselves in position on a 3rd and 9. And Tua does a great job going through his reads quick, gets in his head around quick. But his mechanics throw him off, and the ball comes out a little late or a little slow. And when Parker comes out of the break, he's too far out of the break. Now watch this. On this play, he's got to hit Parker just as he comes out of his break. And if he had, it would have been open. Now, maybe he was a little slow to get his head around. But when you watch his drive on the ball, it doesn't come out with a lot of velocity. And he's got that little heel click there. And that's not a good thing. That's a mechanic thing. But then watch him twisting like the way he is. And you see the ball, it comes out late and a little slow. And there's nothing Parker can do. He ran a great route. And if it had been delivered with heat and properly, that would have been a very big first. So you're going to have to really put a little weight onto his velocity there. I think that's a really clear indication. But was the velocity because he doesn't have an arm, or was it his mechanics? You can see that heel click there. Heel click is not usually a good thing, but it's fixable. It's fixable. So you're seeing some things that are really fixable. So that really ended the drive. And basically, we got 1 quality screen not seen, 1 stupid false start penalty by Smythe, 1 poor throw or miscue by Parker, and 1 good read by Tua with poor velocity. So we open up, quarterback sneak. They had really bad field position. And then they run the ball here. You can see right there, look at that Jackson getting just totally abused. And it's amazing that Gaskin's able to even get back to the 1 yard. So now they're in 3rd and 10 again. Not an easy position for Tua. But this is a very interesting play. And Tua had an opportunity to do something pretty amazing. He could have, if you notice, this is a 2 receiver play. You got Gaskin doing the post, and you got Bowden Jr. doing like a clear out, cross of the middle, which basically opening it up. And then you got Parker doing an inside post, and everyone bites. But look at all the space open up over here. The Buffalo defense bites on Parker, and Tua really doesn't see it, which I can kind of get. He's afraid to get that pick. But look, right here, Bowden's open to the underneath, and the ball comes up short. He's got to come back about 1.5 yards too, and then come back upfield, and he falls about 1 yard or 2 short. If that ball had been delivered accurately with a little bit of velocity, maybe he could have picked it up. But watch here again. See, watch Tua. The ball comes out slow. Look at him drifting. It's not driving. He's not driving the football. His mechanics betrayed him here. So again, why? His mechanics are starting to fall apart again. Is it afraid to drive on the hip? Anyway, one tough situation for Tua, one poor run block by Jackson, one poor throw or misread by Tua, however you want to slice it. So that's 3 drives down now. So we open up with another run, first down, it's kind of getting predictable, don't get much. Another nice play there by Tua, but really that's another Gailey win. That was a great little play call. And you hear another run on first down, predictability. I mean, is it because he sucks? Is it because Gailey sucks? Or maybe he's just not really trusting Tua, or Tua's not trusting himself. I don't know. It's one or the other. Gailey sucks, or they're not trusting Tua. So they go back, nice little quick snap, but watch where this ball comes out. It's a slow read, and it's a very poor throw. Watch. Kiseki's open over the middle here, and he waits for him to cross the field. It makes no sense. Gesicki is wide open. You can get like 6 or 7 if you hit him right there. But the ball, he double clutches, then he throws it, and the ball just dies. And that's not the Tua that we saw in 2018. It's way more reminiscent of the injured Tua. See, look at right here. Wide open, just slow double clutching. And then the ball just dies. I mean, that's not Tua. That's not the kid that was picked 5th overall. Was he not healed? What's going on? I don't know. But it's something to take note of. Now, look, again, ball drifts behind. He's got impression in his face. They go back to this little screen thing to try to bail him out. You could blame Gailey, but Tua is just really not looking like himself. So you got 1 good play call, 2 predictable play calls to balance it out, 1 terrible read and throw, and 1 get out of dodge play just to move on to the next set of downs. So Tua comes back, throws the ball, little late, little high, still nice. Ford should have had it, but it does come out a little late. Now watch it over here. The corner was off at one point, but the time as the route developed, he manages to get up on him. Let's see, and he doesn't get his full body into it. You got to blame it on Ford. I'd say it's a little bit of a late read, but you blame it on Ford. You got the drops, and that's one of the things that Tua fans really held on to this game is a drop. So we'll say that's a drop. Tua gets it out. Nice little play there. Delivers it. Nice movement. That's the movement we're talking about with Tua. He's able to buy time. He's not scrambling. He's just buying time. And that was a very nice play. So now this is a critical 3rd and 4. Okay? We need this play. It's still relatively close. The game's not out of control yet. He gets the ball. Does a nice little run here. Gets out. And, you'll blame, that's another drop. But watch it from another angle. First off, why did Tua run? There's no pressure. Now, this is incredibly hard, but look how far out in front. That's a running back. Again, watch the pressure. There isn't any, but he's already on the move. And this is a very difficult to throw you across your body. Like, it's amazing, gets it to where it is, but you can't blame that. You can't call that a drop. I mean, he hits him in the hands, but he's a running back. He's got to jump for it. I mean, this is just him being a little nervous, not comfortable, having a hard throw, a little far out there. I can't call it. So we'll say one drop, one poor throw, and one phantom pressure scramble by Tua. Tua gets back there, drops the ball. Not bad. A little bit of a pause. The timing's probably not there. That's going to take a little time. There's just a little bit of a pause. Still nice delivery there. Getting to see a little more comfortable Tua. Delivers it. Nice play. Nice to Parker. If we'll talk about Parker, he had a big game. There's another nice play. Look at that rhythm. Getting the ball out quick. Starting to feel comfortable. And you can see that when Tua just drops that and he lets it go, his mechanics are much better. Now, there you go. There's the bread and butter behind the back. Receiver comes back for it. And, Tua's, that's just, him and Parker are going to do great with this. Watch this. This is why, people want to get rid of Parker. They're a little bit crazy, in my opinion. All right. So a nice little rhythm throw there. Delivered inside. It's a nice little play. You see like flashes of him together when his mechanics are together. Nice. The two hit a nice string here. They found the plays that really, makes him feel comfortable. And this is like what he's good. This is why, again, I call him Breeze Jr., Nice little scramble inside here. You got to give him credit. Not a bad little run. This is the kind of stuff he could do. Gets them in the red zone. But this is another uncatchable ball. And a little bit of a rush delivery. There's mechanics. He's got some pressure, but there was no chance for that. He could put it out in front of Gesicki. Hard pass play. There was pressure. You can't really register too much negativity on that. Again, he's forced to throw the ball. Just Parker gets jammed, doesn't fight through it. I didn't really like that play. It was just kind of like a pre-planned throw. Kind of dangerous. It was like a one and done read type thing. Now, this is a 4th and 5. And we're going to see Hunt again not read inside out. See, it goes outside, inside, forcing, inside blitz comes, forces Tua on the move, throw quick. This is not Parker dropping the ball. It's not even blaming on Tua, really. I mean, what is he going to do? He's got a guy in his face like this, gets it out quick. But it's just not in a good situation. But they get the pass interference, thankfully. And then the offensive line bullies their way in with Gaskin for a touchdown. So you got to give it to the credit for the O-line for that. So one good series by Tua, one off pass by Tua, one excellent pass by Tua, one good run block by the goal line, by the O-line, and one dominating series by Parker. So we come back, and this is the backbreaker. Now everyone says, Parker sucks, he fell. But watch, look right there. That's called pass interference. And then a hand comes down, hits him in the leg, trips him up, and he goes down. And then the ball sails high. Even if Parker had come out of his break like that, that would have been a very high ball. But again, all day long, you saw pass interferences. The NFL zebras pretty much suck. Pass interference, there was like 5 pass interference plays that weren't called. So Gaskin comes out, nice run. Quality run block. Tua comes back, delivers it. Not bad. Nice. Little off, a little high. Can't really say much. Then this was a very, very bad pass. Look at his mechanics. He's no pressure, and look at his mechanics. That's how he throws it. 2 triple coverage. When you look on the exteriors, on the edges, both receivers are wide open. So this was like a bad read and a bad throw. This is just very poor because he had opportunity. So, he comes out, he does a nice little rollout here, picks up the first. Again, these short little runs, these buy times for pass. That's the kind of scrambler he is. This was just throwing it away. But if it came out quicker, he would have been hit right there. Now Tua makes a nice scramble, picks up the first, run on first down, predictable. And again, this is another poor velocity, poor mechanics, bad location throw. Watch his mechanics. And look how it's inside. And Gesicki was getting jacked on that one. Tua comes back. Nice pass play. This was a very aggressive and nice read and good throw. And this is a drop. I mean, you could say maybe the corner got his hand on it, but can't blame it on Tua. So now he comes back. Now look at this. This is a critical play. And look where that ball comes. It comes inside on a comeback for the first down. Terrible location. Terrible velocity. Let's take a look at his mechanics on this one. This is a critical third down right here. Mechanics doesn't look terrible, but look how there's no way Park got a chance on that. That was all Tua. So you got one good run by Tua, one good scramble by Tua, one excellent scramble by Tua, one good pass, two poor throws, and two poor reads by Tua. All right, so Tua comes back, delivers a semi-nice ball, and, Ford again's getting the blame, but watch where this ball goes. That's why all 22 is a beautiful thing and super slow-mo. So, right read, nice aggressive read. He gets himself into it. I liked his mechanics. I'm sure somebody who's a real guru could maybe tweak it or something, but watch where this ball, Ford's way over the top, and watch where the ball comes in. Bang! Short, and the corner deflects it. And right away, that's a drop. A lot of fans, drop. That wasn't a drop. It was a short throw. So Tua comes back, nice rhythm throw. Again, his mechanics weren't good on that, but you could see it's hot and cold. That was a hot throw right there with poor mechanics. Comes back. Look at that. Got it out quick. Didn't set. Hot and cold. Comes back, delivers it again. Let's see it high. And they'll blame Bowden on that one. But watch where this ball is. You're delivering the ball in the perfect place for the defender to get his helmet on it. This is, he's got to catch it and all this other stuff, but look how high, bang, bang, bang. It's called bang, bang play. If he had thrown it outside or short down, then they come back to the screen over here and Gaskin, look at him, man. I love Gaskin. So Tua comes back, delivers another beautiful pass, and look how it is. Look, his bread and butter. Look at that, beautiful. Him and Parker should have a great, great year this year, especially when you add in Waddle and Fuller. Tua does a thing over here, his little scramble. Kind of hurts their RPOs because he's not really fast enough. But look, again, they'll blame, Parker dropped the ball. Parker sucks. He's coming out of a slant, totally wide open. Look how late the ball comes there, right? That's just not fair blaming on Parker. So they come back, and this was not to his fault either, of course. And watch how high this ball is. He doesn't set right. Ball goes high and behind. Watch this. And I've actually argued with people saying this was not to his fault. Look at this. Double clutches. There's no way he was getting his hands on that. So then he comes right back over here to the Gesicki, and that was just awful. All right, so, there was some good plays after this. There's some good plays by Tua after this. But this is not the guy we saw in 2018, early 2019. Far more reminiscent of the injured Tua against LSU. The good news is, if this is injured Tua, what happens if he comes out and he's healthy and he looks like 2018 Tua? We don't know, but it's very clear this kid was not playing to his potential. And it's not his fault. Mentally, he made corrections, but his body looked like it got weaker as the season went. When you go back and you look at his early games, there was some mechanical issues, but the accuracy was there more often than not. And by the time he got to the Bills game, it looked like his body was falling apart and his mechanics were falling apart as well. So the hope right now we got to have is that this kid gets his body healthy. He gets some miracle treatments. And if he comes out and he looks like 2018 Tua, look out. But if his velocity is looking like this, I would be very, very concerned, because if he's not healthy by now, he never will be. And this is a shame. It's a shame, because this is not in his control. He's working as hard as he can, but he can work on his mechanics. We saw mechanical problems in this Bill game. We saw location issues. Does that stem from a weak body, a hurt body, poor mechanics? I don't know. But there's a lot of room for this kid to grow, and we just got to pray 2018 Tua shows up in 2021. All right, that was a long one, but now you have just about all you can really get. I mean, it would help to go back and do the same process for every game prior, but we know now where he left off. We have the film. We've gone over the film multiple times. I mean, there'll be some difference of opinion of where I stand. You know where I stand. We might have a little difference, but generally speaking, we know where Tua is at. And again, the framework has to be is the injury. He had different talent level in college. He's a rookie. They were heading to the playoffs. Dolphins were. You had Fitzpatrick behind him. So it's very tough to eval the future for Tua. But I think it's pretty clear where he was at. Okay? And is it the end of the world? No. And it's also pretty clear that velocity and the injury did play some kind of part. But that's the good news. The good news is we knew he was injured. We knew he was coming in, battling his own body. But now, with the season off, he sees working out. He has time to really reflect on everything. He has time to totally heal. He was playing it less than what he's capable. So what happens if he comes in and he's as good or even better? We get reports of those practices. If we hear the ball's looking like it's coming out quicker. Wow, there's a little extra zip on the ball this year. Tua was throwing with a little more velocity. I would say happy days are here again. And for you out there who love Tua and totally support him and you're putting your foot in the ground, you might get a good case of rubbing it in the faces of those who says he's not. And those who say he's not going to be something, just wait till you see those practices. Watch the velocity. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you might disagree with me. You might agree with me. But at least I've put my full effort in. I've thoughtful evaluation. Like to hear what you have to say in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for staying this long. This was a long one. This was a rough rider one. You stayed with this one. You got guts of iron. So I appreciate that. So if you enjoyed what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe below. Mostly comment. That's fun. That's fun stuff. And thank you again.